Have a few minutes? You won't believe what you can do with it. Open a Regions checking account online in as little as 5 minutes. Then enjoy award-winning service and banking tools and tech that help you live in the moment. Learn more at regions.com/live-in-the-moment. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
Broadcasting live from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio inside the Sonesta Gwinnett Place Atlanta Hotel. It's time for Gwinnett Business Radio. Gwinnett Business Radio is presented by Regions Bank. Brave the beginning. Member FDIC.
And hello again, everybody, and welcome to Gwinnett Business Radio. As you heard from the Subaru of Gwinnett studio, we are broadcasting live. Mike Salmon alongside Stephen Julian.
Greetings and salutations, Monsieur Salmon.
How you doing?
I'm doing fabuloso.
I see you're wearing your CSU shirt, which would be Columbus State University.
It would be.
One in Columbus State, one in Valdosta State.
That's right. Shout out to the Cougars.
Where's the third one going to be going, the third son?
Crazy. Decided? No, we're not sure. He is not sure. He's thinking about it. Actually, if he had his wish, he would go to Full Sail University and become a WWE superstar or referee. But we're trying to get him into accounting. So I don't know where that's going to go. But that's
all right.
Another story for another day.
Well, on that note, Stephen, we've got some great guests in the studio today. We're going to have a lot of fun. Joining us is Heather Orrico with Comcast Business. And also joining us from the Aflac Cancer Center at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, it's Sara Orton. And Benji Hollis is also with us. He's with the Peach Bowl. And there's a connection between the Cancer Center and the Peach Bowl, and we'll talk all about that in the second half of the show.
That's a fantastic tease. I can't wait.
Glad to know that I can tease you. All right, speaking of teasing, I have no idea what that means. Comcast Business is here. Heather's looking at me really weird.
She's here to save us.
Senior Director, Enterprise Sales. Before we get into what you do, tell us all about Comcast Business.
We were originally founded out of these organic relationships that serve not only our own needs as a cable company, but also think about mission critical applications like healthcare systems, Mike, Stephen, educational institution, and we were able to support them from the early days. That's still such a primary core of who we support as customers, but now just this wide array of small business. So think of your local entrepreneurs or anywhere up to Fortune 500 companies with just thousands of locations.
When it comes to Comcast Business, I think a lot of people have a preconceived notion, and I think that one of that notion is Comcast Business does a lot of different things. Can you cover the scope of all the, it is a lot of stuff that Comcast Business kind of covers. So what are the main services that people need to think of when they think of Comcast Business?
That's a great question, because when I started 10 years ago, and I think even today, still people think of us as these traditional services of just voice and internet. Mm-hmm. But the truth is we are this enterprise-wide solution doing cybersecurity risk management, doing immersive Wi-Fi experiences, doing wide area network technologies for, again, kind of national and even international companies. And then really our core product now, and a big spotlight for us, is Comcast Business mobile platform. So that's a big one. But the truth is, Stephen, more than just products, right? So we got to think about how do you serve? And the truth is that we were always accelerating through digital adoption through the years. So that was what allowed us to create this immersive experiences when so many people went into remote work environments. We were able to support them, whether they have an employee sitting in their HQ location, they're in a remote work environment, they're sitting in an airport waiting on a plane, or they are sitting in a home environment. So really just helping them bridge that gap between network and security is something that we take pride in.
Now, this might be a little bit of an unfair question, but I want you to focus on the services, but let's drill down into specifically kind of small business. Mm-hmm. And I laugh when I say that, because small business, depending on who you ask, it could be less than 5 employees. I've heard the official business definition is under 100 employees. So small is you can put air quotes around it. Sure. If you want. But talk to the room full of small business owners mm-hmm. who are thinking, well, I got to go to 17 different places to get all my technological needs. Yeah. Talk about specifically the services for small business mm-hmm. that Comcast can really deliver, and that it really has an entire platform possibly.
Yeah, so that's just a great question. And sometimes you're right. A small business is a company that's purchasing more than what you would think of as a mid-market or enterprise customer, because they are a startup, and bandwidth is what's driving everything they do as they bring their business up. But the truth is, sometimes a small business has limited IT staff, and that is a business model that we can help complement, where we can bring in experts to say, hey, how much of the network do you want us to operate for you, and then how much control do you want to have? So we can put that at their fingertips and let them make that decision.
You've already explained why people should probably be a customer of Comcast Business, but I'll give you an opportunity to talk about what makes you different from your competition out there.
So great question. And by the way, thanks for being a customer. Very excited to be here today, and just knowing that you have been with us for many years.
Well, if we go off the air right now and something fails, so you're on the line.
All eyes on me.
No pressure on Comcast, but we need you guys to do your job so we can stay in business and do our job. So we love working with you guys.
Yep. So thanks for that, and we appreciate you very much. So I always tell people, why we're so good at what we do, small business or even enterprise customers, national customers, is we put people first. So I always talk to my leadership team about break down walls for people, move mountains for people, help them be successful by coaching and develop them, because if you care for people in that way, they will then in turn care for your customers that way. So I hope that you see that from us every day. And then, we talked about it in terms of limited IT staff, but we're this one provider to customers. So you could look at us and say, hey, I want you to just own it all, like we talked about. Provide the diversity, which is security and diversity are key today with all the risks in network applications. So you could look at us and say, hey, do it all. Or you could say, I have a valued business partner that I really want you to operate with, and bring them into the relationship. And we'll do that for you. So you have one back to pat, one call to solve everything. And that is something that our customers appreciate, because we give them choice, in terms of how they operate their network.
And we do appreciate that here at Business Radio X.
So one of the things about dealing with communication and technology is it's, the mathematical formula is it's doubling speed every 18 months or whatever it is. I don't know if that's still holding, but if I ask you about trends, that might be a little unfair, because by the time you answer this, if somebody's listening to this a year from now, it might be almost outdated. But
that's right.
So maybe not a specific this product coming, but you've been doing this for, you told us off air, you've been with Comcast for 10 years, the entire time in the business division. What are the trends you've seen, and what are the trends you see maybe changing in terms of dealing with business and communication and technology?
So great question. When I started 10 years ago, there was a significant purchase still in the small business, medium business of 10 meg circuits. Okay, and now we have national accounts asking us for 10 gig, 100 gig on a regular basis, and then trying to be a true provider to create custom infrastructure and networks for them. So that's a trend. The other trend you see is sort of in government and education is, you got to meet people where they are. And what I mean by that is, if I'm a government entity and I have this downtown immersive experience where you can come live, work, play, how am I connecting with my constituents when they're in town, right? And I do that through, I mentioned earlier, this immersive Wi-Fi experience. I do that through those connections. And maybe, by the way, I also allow public safety to come in and use sensor technology to turn red lights green when emergency vehicles need a pass-through, right? So it's really everything from what you think of back in the day to internet connection to, wow, let's enable an ambulance to move faster in the sense of emergency.
So if I can follow that up with just total geekness,
yes.
How close are we getting to Star Trek days? Where
we're there.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're getting close with handheld devices, right? So
absolutely.
Pretty soon we'll be beaming back and forth, and I was just thinking as you were talking about the giga and the terms for data and things like that. How close are we getting to? I was trying to think of what term they used in Star Trek, but I don't even think they talked about storage, because I think it was just in infinite storage in the ship's computer. But anyway, I just wanted to geek out for a second, Mike. You can rescue the interview now.
All right. Well, I'll try to do that. Now, Heather, you're the Senior Director of Enterprise Sales. So I want to ask you, what does your day-to-day look like? What are your responsibilities? And I want to follow that up with the fact that you've been there 10 years. No one stays anywhere 10 years anymore. So for you to be there a long time says a lot about Comcast Business. Okay. So talk about the culture and what it's like to work at Comcast.
Thank you for that question. I love that question.
Was that a great question?
No, she said thank you for the question.
I said it to
because twice
you can't lead her to say great.
You said he's asked you great
yes,
questions. And my
unprovoked.
I just got one great question.
Yeah,
so.
and you got to thank you. Take the thank you.
It's fantastic. We'll take it
Can
to the
you
next
see now
level.
you're coaching the witness?
Question.
You see how competitive we are here?
Goodness
It's called
gracious.
priming. It's
no
called
bell for
priming the
you.
witness. That's right.
I'm sorry, Heather, that you had to experience that. That was terrible.
So-
Do you
so
remember the question?
Your day-to-day experience, what it's like,
And
and
the
the culture at Comcast.
So let me give you a little bit of history. I did start 10 years ago, and I had moved around a little bit in my career. That's very common in what I'll call telecom. So Comcast Business is really the telecom side of the house. So it can be pretty common. And what I saw was just this really long tenure of folks at Comcast Business. And I had a lot of friends that had come over and said, you got to come join the company. And so I jumped in with both feet. And I said from the beginning, hey, I have this passion to be in leadership, and I want you to help me get there. And I have never worked for a company who just not only talks about DE&I, but really puts it into action every day. And I'm a great example of that because I started 10 years ago as a salesperson, and now I'm leading the enterprise organization. So it's just incredible what the company enables for people. And by the way, that doesn't happen without the amazing team that I have around me every day. They're just incredible, and we're better together. So I talked about putting people first. That's what we do. You know, we don't make decisions in a vacuum. We invite others into those conversations to get better. So, oh gosh, what does my day-to-day look like? I leave here and go host an event at the Battery today. So, you know, our facility over by the Atlanta Braves. So I'm excited to do that. So it may be some sort of event like that I'm hosting. It may be jumping in to do what we call game changer meetings with our teams to say, hey, what's kind of the big deals that you have going on and how can we support you and bring the right resources in to get what you need and what the customer needs. And it might be meeting with Alex and team, right, to talk about expansion across our network and our footprint in what we call the Big South region.
I want your job. That's awesome.
It's a great job. I'm so blessed.
Alex, how'd you do?
Thumbs up.
Great answer.
You know what? That was a great answer, Mike, is what I was going to say. Much better than the question.
Let's give her the bell.
Yeah.
Much better than the question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, for those that would like to know more about Comcast Business, as I said, our audience, a lot of business leaders and entrepreneurs, they would like to find out more. Hey, I'm not using Comcast. Shame on them, first of all.
Yep.
What are you doing? Come on.
Yeah.
Get with it.
How should they reach out? What's the best way if they want to at least find out more about your services?
Yeah, absolutely. Check us out on the web, of course, Comcast Business. You can go through all of the solutions from enterprise. We talked about small business. You can really hone in on that Comcast Business mobile that we talked about. I would love for y'all to check that out. We're doing an incredible job there. So just reach out and definitely connect with me on LinkedIn too. So I'm a Gwinnetian. I'm here locally, and I'm at the Chamber all the time, as you know, Mike, and I'm around, so would love to help.
Spell your last name, Heather, so people will know.
Orrico.
And also, as you say, a great place to work. So if they want to look at maybe joining the team, website's the place to go as well?
Absolutely. Yep. There are job inquiries that you can do on there. There's a great job search that really gives you all options, whether it's in Georgia or outside of the area if you're thinking about moving or if you have family that lives outside of the state. But yeah, and reach out for me for that too, so I'll get you connected. How about that? Super.
Yeah. And we appreciate everything you do. We met at a chamber event. I think we're both on the board at the Gwinnett Chamber of Commerce. So you get out there. You've done a great job. You're a great spokesperson for Comcast Business. So thank you for joining us this morning here on the program.
Thanks for having us. It was great.
Our show is brought to you by Regions Bank, and they are great. We all know that keeping your company's financial future on track means having the right resources to support your growth. Regions Commercial Banking offers you lending capabilities and strategic solutions tailored to your needs, and you'll work with a team of experienced bankers here in Gwinnett. Discover steps to take that can help move you closer to your business goals. Regions is here to help. To learn more, visit regions.com/commercial-banking. Regions Bank, member FDIC.
All right, Stephen. Our next guest joined us from the Aflac Cancer Center, Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Sara Orton is here. She's the Director of Development, and she's brought a close friend. Benji Hollis is with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. And Sara and Benji, thank you both for joining us.
Good morning. We're happy to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Sara, talk about the Aflac Cancer Center and Children's Healthcare, and then your relationship with the Peach Bowl.
Yes, so the Aflac Cancer and Blood Disorder Center of Children's Healthcare of Atlanta is one of the largest pediatric care providers for children with cancer and blood disorders, not only in the Southeast, but across the nation. So annually, we care for more than 8,000 children. Just last year, we newly diagnosed 522 children with cancer. So That's more than one child a day walking through our doors whose parents have to hear those devastating words, your child has cancer. And so my job is to do everything possible to raise as much money and awareness for the program so that we can provide exceptional care at the bedside, but also make advancements in the research labs. And we are so fortunate to have worked with the Peach Bowl for many years now, and Benji can fill us in on some of the big initiatives that we've had lately, but have come to know Benji both as a parent of a child, but also as a community partner in the philanthropic space.
Great. Benji, please share your story.
Yeah, so I've been at the Peach Bowl Inc. We own and operate Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Chick-fil-A kickoff games. Been there 19 years. Yep, so I started working when I was 15.
Good one. I like
nice. That. Usually we lead you into that joke, but you did it yourself.
I'm trying to help.
He took our punchline, but that's okay.
You know, it's one of these things where we had the Touchdown for Children's program that we've been doing that to raise money for childhood cancer. First year into it, I guess towards the back end, my daughter, Anna Charles Hollis, we call her AC, started having some pains in her legs and in her side, and this is going through a tonsillectomy as well. And once we had that done, she just never started to really heal right. So we took her into a CHOA urgent care, who told us to take her down to the emergency room. And so it'll be, I guess that was 4.5 years ago, and we heard those words that your child has cancer. And so Anna Charles got diagnosed with acute myeloid leukemia, and then she was actually paralyzed 3 days later, put into a wheelchair, and it'll be 4 years tomorrow since she left us. She passed away. But Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and Scottish Rite and Eggleston and all the staff were amazing while we were in there, and they're still amazing. And it really put a whole new perspective in my life on how important it is to raise money and bring awareness to this program.
And you guys do that through the Peach Bowl and a lot of the other things that you do. Did you guys already have the relationship with the Cancer Center before this happened? Because you've been there 19 years. So was that relationship already in place?
Yes, it was. And look, I'm here to tell you, as probably a lot of parents are, you know, you look around and you see and you hear about childhood cancer, but, you know, quite frankly, it's not a window that you want to look in because it makes life real and makes sickness real. And until it comes knocking on your door, you kind of don't pay attention to it. I remember a year out, I was watching 60 Minutes. That shows you my age right there, with Anna Charles, and they were talking about the Iowa football program and how the Children's Center overlooks the football stadium. And I was sitting there watching it, and they cut to all the little children in there, little bald heads, and they're waving, and I just started crying. And Anna Charles was sitting with me on the couch, and she just looked at me, and she told me to stop crying. Why am I She didn't like to see me upset. And I told her because no parent wants to see their child get sick. Lo and behold, 1 year later, she was sick. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's a window that people need to look through because there's a lot of hurting families in there, but there's also a lot of hope in there.
It also took your job, though, to a whole new level, though, as well, obviously, because you've lived it, you've gone through that. So now every single day you go to work, I mean, you have that passion that you may not have, I'm sure you always had it, but it's a whole new level now when you're out there trying to raise money and, you know, with these events for a great cause.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in sales, so, you know, and I hate to say this, but I'll be fully transparent. You know, one of our missions is we're created to give, and childhood cancer is now our number one initiative. Prior to it, it was just an initiative.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that, but until you actually walk through it.
But the fact that you work for the Peach Bowl, that you're doing that, as opposed to being maybe you're an accountant somewhere, I mean, you're actually working for a company that is making a difference.
100%.
Yeah.
And to be able to tell them, hey, look, the money, you're not just being a sponsor or partnering with us so that we can have these nice offices. Like, this is literally going to help fund new trial medication for childhood cancer patients. Makes a difference.
Sara, let me kind of pivot back to you for a second, because you are the Director of Development for the Aflac Cancer Center. And using what Benji just said, let me let you kind of seize on that, because not everybody is working with a giant bowl organization that creates millions and millions of dollars, but everybody can give at whatever level they can. And no matter what those levels are, speak a little bit about what the Aflac Cancer Center, and two prongs, I think. One is the actual research that is going on, and second, the support that the center is able to give to families who have to come in the doors with their children.
Sure. So I first want to just piggyback on what Benji was saying and give the Peach Bowl a little bit more credit. We've had a long-standing history with them, dating back 10, 15 years, in which Benji's been a part of. And then in 2019, after AC and Benji and his family had the personal experience, the Peach Bowl took it one step further. Not only did they give at an initiative level, they gave a $20 million donation to start the Peach Bowl Legacy Fund in honor of AC. And all that money goes towards funding new clinical trials, because there's such a gap in the amount of funding that we receive from the national level in the pediatric space. The Peach Bowl stepped in and said, we have to do something more for these kids. We have to help these researchers. And so that's what the Peach Bowl's done. They did that in 2019. And they've continued to give. And one way that they do it, and one way that the community can get involved, is through Touchdowns for Children's. It's an online platform where you donate $1, $5, $50 for every touchdown that your college football team scores. So if you got an Alabama, Georgia versus an Illinois, like me.
If you're someone that went to Georgia Tech, not to mention any names here,
you better give more per touchdown.
Can you pick another school that will have more touchdowns?
No, you just give more per touchdown. See, Mike, it's a math problem, and I know you're not good at that. So anyway, I'm sorry to derail your interview.
So,
please speak more.
And, the Touchdowns for Children's program has, since 2017, we've raised more than $2.5 million. Wow. And the Peach Bowl comes in and matches every single dollar for dollar that the community invests in the program. So it's really a win-win. All of that money, again, goes back to our researchers. We're doing excellent work in the lab to find new therapies, better treatment options for our kids, and we get that to the bedside so that patients like AC and all the other children that we treat have better options today, and hopefully we'll have more cures for our kids tomorrow.
Are we making, and I know it's controversial for some people, are we making strides towards curing cancer?
That's a great question, and it is controversial. What I would say is we're definitely making strides in better treatment options. Anybody who has ever been in a cancer journey or knows someone knows it's extremely harsh. It's difficult in all realms. And so to have better options, less side effects, we're making great strides there. We're also making great strides in trying to get to a cure for all children who will be diagnosed with cancer. Research takes a lot of time, but that's our researchers' life mission. They spend every single day in the labs, in the hospitals doing it. And so we're fortunate to have the great support of Peach Bowl and others.
Benji, the Peach Bowl has had a long-standing relationship, as Sara said. Obviously, for you, there was this personal interaction for you and your family. Let me ask you to look ahead. It's been a 4-year anniversary tomorrow, that celebration of life. As you continue to move forward, what are some of the things you see, because I'm assuming your affiliation with the Peach Bowl isn't going anywhere anytime soon, so what are some of the things the Peach Bowl may be looking forward to either adding or just the initiatives you're currently doing at a even deeper level? What are some of the things the Peach Bowl is looking forward to?
Sure. So September, I didn't know this really until 2018 when I had to go. We were living at the hospital, but we also had Washington-Auburn for the kickoff game. And so I left and had to go work the game, and I really didn't even understand and know that it was Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in September. And I was embarrassed, but I thought, hey, if I don't know, probably a good chance none of these people know.
Yeah.
So we've really tried to step it up, what we do at the games for the kickoff game, to make just people aware that it is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And so we put ribbons in the end zone, childhood cancer ribbons in the end zone. Everything that we do is geared towards bringing awareness. And again, it's so hard for people. It's one of those things that people don't willingly want to look through that window all the time because it makes them sad. So hopefully with, being able to pull for your team, even if you're a Georgia Tech fan, I'm kidding, Steve. I'm an NC State guy.
Many are called, but few are chosen.
I'm NC State, so I'm with you right there.
Welcome to the martyrdom. Yeah.
But hopefully through college football, we can make it fun for people. But it's going to an incredible cause. And in the Peach Bowl, we're in it. Our CEO, Gary Stoken, he's passionate about it. And so
yeah, he's been doing it for a while too. Big kudos and a huge thanks to both of you for all that you do. It's a great relationship. I'm glad we'll be able to talk about the relationship here because I didn't realize how strong it is. Unfortunately, we are running out of time, so I want to give a chance for each of you to maybe your last parting words, what people you want people to take away from our conversation today. We'll start with you, Benji. Again, thank you for everything that the Peach Bowl does. We enjoy the games, but for those that did not realize how much you give back to the community at large is amazing. So your final thoughts on what to leave us with today.
Please get involved. Get involved with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. They are amazing. They don't just take care of the kids. They take care of the families. I don't know what we would do without our Choa family. We've been through so much, but yet they're still here for us. And buy tickets. You can go to our website for the kickoff games. For the Peach Bowl, we have a semifinal game this year. There's all kinds of ways that you can get involved with us, and every cent, every dollar is going to go to help children live a longer life and help show us in the fight. So.
And congratulations on the growth. Many years ago, the Peach Bowl was never as big as it is now. I mean, the events have just grown in stature over the years.
Once it became, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt. Once it became the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl and Chick-fil-A got involved, and just, I mean, even before when it was just the Peach Bowl, it was always a decent bowl game. But anybody that's followed college football, and especially followed the bowl season, there is no bowl game that is run as well as the Chick-fil-A Bowl. It's not even close.
And now with the new Mercedes-Benz State, I mean, you got the best venue as well, too.
And the fact that it's moved into now kind of the national championship, the semifinal, it's kind of in that circuit because it was always, there was like the big four.
It was the secondary.
And the Peach Bowl and the Chick-fil-A Bowl has just kept showing, no, we do it better than anybody else. So.
Yep, absolutely. And Sarah, we heard the story today about AC, but obviously there are thousands of stories just like that. You see them because you're dealing with lots of families out there. But your final thoughts and takeaway is what you want people to remember from today.
Yeah, I just I want to personally thank you guys for allowing us to be on here and to spread that awareness. To Benji's point, people don't think kids get cancer unless you know somebody in your neighborhood, in your son or daughter's school, but it does happen. More than 16,000 children each year will receive that diagnosis. So I just ask everyone to know that it happens, and if you have it in your heart to give and get involved, whether it's $1 a touchdown or going and donating blood at your local bank. We're so appreciative of all the support that we get from the Atlanta community, from our Peach Bowl all the way down to the bake sales and the blood drives. So thanks to everyone listening, and thanks for your support, Atlanta.
Well, Sarah and Benji, thank you for coming by this morning to share the story. And it's an open door here, so anytime we can help at Business Radio X, please let us know. All right, Benji Holmes with the Peach Bowl.
It's Benji Hollis.
Benji Hollis. What did I say?
Benji Holmes.
Benji Holmes. Well, and Sara Orton.
I
might as well mess up her name, too, because I've messed up every guest name so far.
And I'm having so much fun reminding you that you've messed up.
Did I not warn you folks before the show that I do this? I do them all the time.
It's okay, Mark.
And that's why,
thank you.
And that's why I don't host, because I don't get to mess up the names. I just get to point out his mistakes. Speaking of mistakes, you will not have a mistake if you go to Subaru of Gwinnett. We do this show from the Subaru of Gwinnett studios. Love is what makes a Subaru. Enjoy big savings and a hassle-free experience where they will remember your name at Subaru of Gwinnett, where people sell cars. Visit SubaruofGwinnett.com and join their family today, or come in and see the difference. If you're already a Subaruist, like Mark or Mike or whoever, then check out their Facebook page for the latest news, offers, and community events.
All right, well, again, a big thank you to Benji Hollis, Sara Orton, Heather Orrico, for joining us here on the program. A reminder, you can join us anytime. Go to, the shows are all over the place, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify. Just type in Gwinnett Business Radio and you'll see about 10 years worth of shows.
Yeah, you were praising Heather for sticking around 10 years. I've been around 10 years.
Yeah, you have. We still like each other.
I know. It's amazing. It's a miracle.
A big thank you to Harper for running the board and helping schedule the guests as well. Harper does a great job here, so we appreciate him. So until next time, for Stephen, I'm Mike.
See you later.
See you later. This is Gwinnett Business Radio.